friends, yet another new Mazda has turned up on our doorstep, the 2016 Mazda CX3 B-segment crossover. Now, we have just wrapped the full episode, so before we turn off the cameras, I wanted to share some highlights with you guys, as well as answer some of your questions. So this is not just a new car for Mazda, this is an entirely new segment for Mazda. So think of this as competing with like the Nissan Juke, the wildly popular Buick Encore, the Chevrolet Trax, cars like that. Now, for us car guys, it is a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine with 146 horsepower and 146 pound-feet of torque. But really the story here is not so much the engine, but the details. Mazda, we've gotten to know over the years, is very much an engineering-driven company, and they do have some very cool design people as well. So what we're going to cover in the full episode is details. Like, there are some details in the interior. One of them is called, or I call it, Splash. It really, there are things we see in like that Mercedes-Benz S65 or what are some cool cars we've looked at recently, the Bentley interiors. Stuff like that we're actually going to find in here, really. The other thing we're going to nerd out about in the full episode is numbers. We're going to try to unpack why this segment is growing so fast. We're even going to drill down into the numbers of the segment as well as other segments as a basis of comparison. So come back for the full episode of the Mazda CX-3. Now let's put the Mazda aside and let's answer some of your questions. And the first question comes from Theo Lepardi on the Rolls-Royce Ghost 2 episode. He asked, how does that car compare to the Maybach S600? And my honest answer is, I don't know. I have yet to drive a Maybach S600. But the reason why I want to answer this question is we do have a Maybach S600 coming up on the show, and the one we have coming is finished in a color you would not expect a Maybach to have. So stay tuned for that full episode. And I know there are a bunch of others that have asked this same question, both in the Rolls-Royce episode as well as the S65 Coupe. So definitely come back for the Maybach S600 episode. The next question comes from ET2128, and his question comes on the S65 Coupe episode. His is a good one in that he asked about the carbon ceramic brakes. Now I know it's very funny that we're talking about a $250,000 car when we've got a $20,000 car behind us here. But his question is, how does the carbon ceramic brakes compare to the steel rotors that come standard on the S65 Coupe? And really there's a couple of ways to answer that. Like, there's just the bullets and numbers. They are physically bigger. They actually are a larger diameter, and they are about $8,000 to $9,000 more expensive. But usually when you drive a car with carbon ceramic rotors around town, they're very grabby, because really the theory of carbon ceramic rotors is for track days. The idea is you take a car that has carbon ceramic rotors to a track and you have fade-free stops track day in, track day out, all day long. That is literally what they are designed for, not for driving around town. And that is why I said in that episode, it's a little strange to see carbon ceramic rotors fitted to that car, because I don't know who would take that car to a track. If you have one of those and you do take it to a track, let me know what you do with it. Anyway, I digress. The last question comes in from Yippee. Really, that is his or her screen name on YouTube, Yippee. And his question is more about location, also on a Mercedes episode, our GLE 63 Coupe, our AMG episode. He asked, where were we shooting when we had the car in front of Schloss Neuschwanstein? He asked, is that in Königssee? And actually, that was not in Königssee. That was near the city of Schwangau in a small town called Füssen. The lake behind me was Forgensee. So the lake that was separating the car and Schloss Neuschwanstein was Forgensee. And with that, I want to thank you guys for sharing the comments, asking questions, and just joining the discussion. So I look forward to sharing this full episode with you, and I want to leave you guys with a question on this car. So this is a segment that is new to us here. I'd love to know how many of you guys actually have bought these. So basically what I'm looking to find out is, which one of these cars in this segment have you bought? Like the Juke, or the Renegade, the 500, or the new Chevy Trax. Let me know which one you bought and why you bought it, and also for good measure, throw in what region of the world you live in. Let me know in the comments below or via our social media, MotoManTV, all in word, MotoManTV, all in word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And until the full episode, bis später.